Hey guys, so it has been a while since my last PoE video and I'm kind of back, kind of not really, but before I move on with my video, I want to say that I'm gonna be trying my best to stream the Exile con, which is gonna be in around 5 days, and I'm gonna be streaming on Twitch, of course. So if you got time, do check it out and we can have a live reaction, and I'm actually very excited, very hyped. Kind of wish I would be going to Exile con, but oh well. So now the rest for the video, this is not gonna be a build guide video. I'm gonna try to kind of explore the how viable is it to use this charge with all the charges, and I'm gonna mostly talk about how I generate all the charges, which is actually a pretty cool mechanic. And I'm gonna know that people are gonna say that is this a copy of the one quack build, and it uses the same mechanic, I guess, but I mean, I'm using cycle and cast on Crit Discharge, so it's not exactly like that. So, and also at the very end of the video, I'm gonna quickly talk why I wasn't really making a lot of videos lately, and maybe some of you may be able to help me with a certain question. So right, so now about this mechanic. So even in the hideout, as you can see, I am able to generate frenzy and endurance charges. It's very inconsistent. So the way I do that is basically through one passive node, through this node. While I'm channeling, while I'm using Cyclone, basically, I have 20% chance to gain endurance and frenzy charge when hit. But you don't want to wait for enemies to hit you, and you can bypass that by doing damage to yourself with the Skull's Bridle, for example. And that's probably the best way to do it, because it doesn't inflict you a lot of damage. As you can see, my energy shield goes down very slowly because Cyclone mana cost is pretty low, and it doesn't do a lot of damage to you, especially because you can mitigate that damage with armor. So the faster you Cyclone, the faster your attack speed is, the more charges you're gonna get per second, or at least chances to get charges per second. So if you did not use discharge, this would be the only kind of requirement. I guess it wouldn't even need skulls. There are other ways, but Skull's Bridle is kind of the easiest and the best way, but it's mostly for hybrid because spell damage. And so the way to generate our charge, of course, is power charge on crit, but it's very unreliable, right? It's only 20% chance to get one charge when you hit yourself, basically. So in order to improve your chances, I'm using two precursors. Is it precursors? Yeah, precursors emblems rings. One is for 15% chance. The wording is so annoying. Basically, you have 15% chance to gain maximum endurance and maximum power and maximum frenzy charges when you gain a charge. So it's very RNG based. First, you have 20% chance to get a charge when you hit, basically, and then you have a 15% chance to get up to maximum charges. And with this badge of Brotherhood, you basically only need to get power charges. You get +1 to maximum power charge, and that increases your maximum frenzy charges. Yes, and because this is a Slayer, because of this node, your maximum endurance charges are equal to maximum frenzy charges. So remember, with badge of Brotherhood, you just increase power charge, which increases your frenzy charge, which because of this increases your maximum endurance charges. This is how you generate all the charges, sort of reliably, but still inconsistently. And of course, to help with the power charge generation, I'm using Inea's boots. I have 25% chance to get up to maximum power charge when I gain a power charge. But overall, the build did not perform very well. I also have the weapon with 8% chance to gain endurance charge on crit. I believe this can only roll on one-handed axes, and maybe two-handed axes, but just on axes. So it's not really enough. I was trying to get a better weapon with the elemental penetration by using fossils, but I couldn't get this. And using the Rihanna's Catalyst because, well, a lot of elemental damage, and I needed elemental damage leech. and has decent attack speed. So just to reiterate, to get Frenzy and Endurance Charge, you get this one. You use some kind of channeling skill. You actually don't even need to use Cyclone. You can adapt it to something else. You use this node, use the channeling skill to get the Frenzy and Endurance Charge, and then use something that would damage you, like Skull's Battle. There is a build, I can't remember the name of the build, but I believe it only triggers on attack, so it wouldn't work very well with channeling because it's not wild channeling, it's only on attack, I believe. And then you may want to get Precursors, Rings, and the Badge of the Brotherhood, and that's basically all the idea. But so here's the issue with the charge. Basically the charge has 0.15 second cooldown, so you can discharge over 6 times per second. That means you need to be able to generate up to maximum all the charges in 6 times per second, basically, if you want to fully maximize your damage. It's just basically never gonna be possible. You can min-max this build and invest a lot more, but you're never gonna have like a steady, consistent results. With bigger investment you could have better results, but you can get the Discharge Helmet Enchantment, corrupted with +1 power charges. I also anointed the amulet to get extra power charge, so I do have currently 6 power charges. 6 power charges, 6 frenzy, and 6 endurance charges. So you could invest more, but I already invested over 3 exalts just to make this kind of viable. It's okay for clear speed, but single target is definitely very inconsistent and very unpleasant, because as you can see I don't have a lot of life because I'm using so many uniques, so I don't even have enough flexibility. I had to use jewels to cap my resistances. Look at that, 75 cold resistance, and that is with 2 jewels with double cold res, which also doesn't have life because it's very expensive to get. So it's very not flexible. It's hard to get enough life, hard to get enough resistances. But if you don't use the charge, you can easily make this work on most other builds that because Frenzy Charge gives you more damage and attack speed. Power Charge gives you, of course, crit, and Endurance Charges are just for tankiness, and you could use that even with like Immortal Call, so it would work very well. You don't have to use Discharge, and you wouldn't then need Precursors, Emblems. Maybe if you wanted to like do cast on crit, Discharge, it probably would be best to focus on just 1 charges, like if you use just power charges. Of course, you could use Walls Protector, and on each crit you would be able to generate power charges. But remember, Walls Protector now has Inner Conviction, which increases, which gives more damage per power charge, but also instead of generating frenzy charges, you would generate power charge. So you could not use like all the charges with the Walls Protector. So yeah, in the end, I would not recommend this. It was kind of fun to build, but not really fun to level, not really fun to boss. It was pretty fun to map clear, but other than that, yeah, there are many better builds for this kind of amount of currency invested. By the way, this build is only level 83. I forgot to get spell crit chance and crit multiplier nodes up here, but other than that, it's pretty much done. I would just get these and then get couple more jewels for more life. I could also get for phase acro, but this would become like level 95 and it wouldn't really be that great. I also only have level 19 discharge, so it could be improved. It's on a 6 link. By the way, the links are Cyclone, cast on crit, discharge, power charge on crit, energy leech, and inspiration. Inspiration works very well. It lowers the mana cost, it gives you some crit chance, gives you more elemental damage, and energy leech works all the time because each time you are cycloning you are hitting yourself, which means you are losing energy shield, which means you are able to leech, so it works all the time. You know what, I'm not gonna mention all the items, because I will include path for building import code in the description. Now on to the last part of the video, and why I didn't really make any videos in what, 2 weeks now? At least for Path of Exile. And also a question, because, well, I wasn't sure if I should be even making a video about this, so I'm kind of merging 2 videos in one. So I was having some health issues like almost 2 months ago, and the league was kind of boring. I kind of took a couple days break from Path of Exile and realized how bored I am of this league. I was basically skipping the league, and I don't mean to complain about the league because I don't think that the league itself is bad. Well, yeah, I wouldn't say that it's bad. It's just not for me, I guess. But the thing that I wanted to ask, so I had some kind of health issues, and I went to the doctor. My heart rate was very high, above 100, and I had pain in my chest. So I thought maybe my heart, something was wrong with my heart. So we did the test. My blood is perfect, absolutely perfect. Heart rate was too high, but the rest of the heart function seems to be fine. So they prescribed me some vitamins and then to lower my heart rate, which I'm still gonna be drinking for like almost 2 more months. And the doctor didn't really say what was wrong. It's just, oh, your heart is too high. You should save it. I mean, yeah, have this drink for like 2 months and yeah, bye. So so yeah, I guess I thought, okay, I'm gonna wait and see what happens, and it kind of fixed. Basically, the next day I was feeling better. My heart rate went back to normal, to around 60, 70, and I kind of continued this, but I couldn't do any exercises because okay, so here are the symptoms that I was experiencing, and maybe some of you had something similar, because I suspect this may be an anxiety, or maybe some anxiety plus depression combination. So one night I woke up at like 3 a.m. Very high heart rate, pain in the chest basically, and everywhere. Couple days before that, I kind of strained myself and pushed too hard with the exercises. So I thought, okay, maybe I pulled a muscle or something like that. Or well, I used to have those kind of issues. So I couldn't really sleep that night. Each time I would you basically start falling asleep, I would just get kind of kicked out of the sleep, and my heart rate would go up again, and I would start feeling the pain in the chest again, everywhere actually, in the chest pain, under the ribs, and in the armpit, sometimes even in the fingers. It's just kind of weird. And since then, it's been like 2 months. I can still hear my heart beating. Like if I, for example, laying in the bed, I can feel my heartbeat in my knees. Is it knees? No, that's not it. In my heels, for example. Even for example, I'm wearing headphones and I can feel the pulsation on the pressure points, and when sleeping as well, when laying on the bed. So I mentioned that to the doctor. Doctor didn't really say anything. Doctor just thought that, oh, your heart rate is too high, so have this, and that is supposed to help, but that didn't. So this keeps continuing, and I thought, well, whatever, I can just kind of ignore it. But from time to time, when I do more exercises and I start feeling this same shit again, I wake up at 3 a.m. always at 3 a.m. for some reason, high heart rate, can't fall asleep, keep getting kicked out of this sleep, and I have this kind of feeling of kind of like in a rush, like I need to go somewhere, you know, like I'm like, you know, when you are almost like late and you kind of feel this kind of rush, or like you need to go somewhere, but or like you are waiting for something and you don't know when exactly it's gonna be, and you feel this kind of unease and a rush. So I feel this almost all the time, and sometimes it just goes I guess too much. I thought that it may be like, you know, coffee and chocolate, but I don't drink that much coffee, and I don't, well, I sometimes eat chocolate too much, but I don't know if that's the issue. So I only recently discovered that what anxiety is. I'm still not sure what anxiety is, and it seems like it has very similar symptoms. So I'm not sure, maybe some of you experience something similar. If that's anxiety, I guess I can fix that over time, meditation, cardio, and something like that. But yeah, that's basically what I wanted to ask. do you know these symptoms? It's probably a bad idea to try ask to ask internet what's wrong with you based on symptoms. But yeah, that has been causing me a lot of issues, and I'm quite a lot stressed about the YouTube. And recently, what has been happening with other YouTubers when they are losing their accounts to fake sponsors and stuff like that. So also been starting, I guess, looking into new business ideas, because, well, I'm gonna maybe make a separate video about that. But yeah, if you know these symptoms, and especially if you experience it yourself, or if you are a doctor of that, and you know what that is, I would appreciate it if you tell me that. And yeah, I guess that's gonna be it for now. Again, I'm gonna try to stream ExileCon. It's gonna be pretty late for me, so I'm not sure how that's gonna work, but I'm gonna do my best. It's probably gonna be like 2 or 3 hours stream, and we're gonna see what 4.0 is gonna look like, what 3.9 is gonna be like, and talk about all the changes, and also the next day as well. So yeah, tune in my stream. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you actually pretty soon. Bye.